Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be making some flour tortillas. If you've ever had problems making them at home, that ends today when you watch my complete guide. Let's get started. So the ingredients are very simple. They're flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, some lard, water, and a splash of apple cider vinegar. So we are going to take the sugar, salt, and baking powder, and we're going to mix it into our flour. And my first tip is that you want to combine these very, very well. It's important to the final product. Now we're going to go in with our lard, and we're going to cut it in with our fingers, some forks, some knives, or a pastry cutter. Whatever you have will work. But unlike a biscuit or a pie crust, you want to combine this very well, and you don't want to leave large pieces in the flour. So the flour should be moist enough to crumble. It should be moist enough to stick together like that, but it should be dry enough to crumble. Now we're going to go in with our water and apple cider vinegar, and this water is very, very hot. It's as hot as I can stand. So my tip about water is that I can't give you an exact amount. Unfortunately, I really wish that I could, but I can't. Depending on your altitude, the age of your flour, your climate, you're going to need a different amount of water. But what I can tell you is that what you're looking for is a very sticky dough that looks like this. I will have some tips, tricks, and everything else in the description down below with additional information to help you out to get you through this portion right here. Now I know that this looks very sticky and you may be very tempted to add some flour or some oil, but please do not do that. You want to knead this dough for between 10 and 15 minutes. This is what it looks like just about 2 to 3 minutes into the process, and you can see it's already coming together. Then right here, about 7 minutes into the process, you can see that it is coming together very nicely without the addition of extra flour. That will ruin your product. Now here we are at the 12-minute mark, and you can see that the dough is still very sticky. Look at it, it's sticking at my hand. But as soon as I pull it away, it comes off. So it's very tacky. So it sticks, but it pulls away relatively clean. This is what yours should look like. This is the texture of the dough after you've been kneading, and it's a very good sign that you're going to have pliable tortillas in the end. I want to shout out my mother-in-law, who is the first person who ever taught me how to make this. And she learned from her mother, our Nana Guata, and I love them both so much, and I'm so appreciative for all of the knowledge that they have passed down to me. So you want to divide your dough into 12 equal portions, and then you want to roll the rolls into themselves and place them into a bowl covered with a damp paper towel. And you're going to let it rest anywhere from 30 minutes minimum to a few hours, which is my preference. So now it's time to roll them out, and we're going to start with our bench flour. Down on our surface, we want to spread it out nice and evenly. And I like to take a dough ball and press it into the flour a little bit just to make sure that it's not sticky. I also flour the rolling pin. And now I normally would do this more quickly, but for demonstration purposes, I'm doing this in real time. You're seeing me roll this tortilla out, and I'm looking for a rough round shape because I'm definitely not going to make a perfect circle. And I'm also looking for an even thickness throughout the whole tortilla. Once you get to that place where you feel like you have a rough circle or as round as you can get it, you want to brush off any excess flour, and then we're going to stretch this dough a little bit. Now, I would normally do this in the air, and I would do it a little bit more quickly, but this is what it looks like in a slower motion. I'm just stretching it out. My mother-in-law taught me that. Her mother did that, Nanakwata did that, so that's what we do. Now you just want to roll out the rest. You can roll them all out first, or you can roll while you cook. This is my comal, and it is very hot, but it is not on a high temperature. It's actually on a medium temperature, but it has been on medium for quite a while before I put on these tortillas. Now I'm going to cook this tortilla in real time for you so that you can see just how quickly it will cook. So what's going to happen is, as soon as you put the tortilla down on the comal or your griddle, you're going to see that it starts to bubble up, and that's what you're looking for. When you flip it over, you're going to see that there's blisters on the other side, there's some nice char, and that is really good flavor and a really good indicator that you have cooked your tortilla correctly. If you use a griddle, they will not be as dark though, just keep that in mind. Also, you can use a spatula to flip your tortilla. You do not need to use your finger, and I advise you not to if you are unused to doing that. So this is what mine looks like. It took about 45 seconds on one side, then you flip it over. And just like a pancake, your first tortilla is going to be a little darker than the rest. Finish cooking these up. And I like to store mine between 2 glass plates. Now this is the first tortilla that I made, the one that's a little darker than the rest of them, and I want you to see how pliable this tortilla is. This is how you know that it is done correctly. Now I want to remind you that I'm going to have all types of tips and tricks and things that I may have forgotten here in the description down below. Don't hesitate to hit me with any questions that you may have, and absolutely try making these and you will never go back to the store kind again, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and come back to my kitchen anytime. Also, my Instagram is linked below, hopefully.